Hello, my friend. So I want to jump right in and just let you know that the energy you're currently standing in is that of which, in a way, you're kind of not seeing the truth of what is around you. And in some ways, there's just something that you're choosing not to see. And there's a lot of anger in this situation simply because you're so afraid. So it's like you're preventing yourself from seeing the silver lining or the rainbow that's actually there because you're still stuck in the thinking part of it. Now, that's just where the energy is right now, and we have to kind of meet it head on where we really are, where things are actually standing. And so, because right now in the mind too, it's interesting because this is the card representing the mind, and here we see a lot of inner conflict and indecision at that mental level. And it's funny and interesting. I don't know if you can hear my surroundings, but no matter how much I tried to kind of set the scene and bring some calmness into this moment for this reading, the more I tried, the more the environment actually got louder and more intense feeling. And you can kind of feel the rise of all these different sounds coming in. And that's exactly what's happening for you too, is that there's lots of positive changes that are on the way. And your now moment is actually ripe and full of this new potential. But it's a potential that's on a higher frequency than you're used to actually being on. And so you're getting a little caught up in your mind, in the thinking, in this indecision, this doubt, this sort of overwhelmed feeling. And it's creating in your real world, just as we're seeing expressed here, a lot of movement and noise and feelings of opposition and self-doubt. Okay? So let's just take a nice deep breath. But let's see what's on the other side of this feeling, and what can we do through the heart? Interesting. So in the heart, we've got this card that lands in the feeling of, again, self-doubt, indecision, but more in the emotional realm. So it's kind of showing that in your mind, you're feeling conflicted and you're having a lot of doubt about things. And in your heart, you're also in a state of doubting something, or just feeling like you're expecting the cup to be full and gosh darn it, it's empty. And you're like, what is going on? And it's feeling like there's been some deception going on, maybe from yourself to yourself, but maybe there's also been some confusion and some feelings coming up because not everybody has been clear about their own feelings. And it's interesting because it's like it isn't just a solitary thing. This is also coming from your interaction with other people and the way you're perceiving those interactions to be. But on a physical level, and it's interesting, so this card represents the physical level, so you in the physical world, in the physical realm, and it's the card of balance, and it's the card of working with others, it's a card of kind of creating a community and a relationship with the cause and effect of your actions. So in actuality, you're still being shown here that this is all a power, that the power within you is in all of this, even though it might not feel so at this time, because you're kind of focusing a little bit down here in the dark and you're still not really comfortable up in these higher states. However, you are moving into these higher states. And it's interesting because the overall reading, before like we even started, I pulled out this card, which is intuition and abundance, indicating that there's an abundance of intuition and inner guidance right now available for you. You are so divinely guided. You are so intuitively led. And your intuition is actually very exact. You've always known what's best for you. And the only thing is you don't still trust that yet. But there's an abundance of that. And think of the abundance in terms of a beautiful meadow of wildflowers. And just think of how much variety, how much beauty there is truly in that wild meadow of flowers. And now think of yourself in those terms, that you are an abundant source of inner knowing and intuition, that you really are divinely led and guided, and that really things really are working out for you in those highest levels, and you have an abundance of like good movement forward. And right underneath this abundance is also new beginnings. So you're also beginning something, you're beginning something. It's the new beginning. But at the same time, and right underneath that is acceptance of responsibility. And that is where all this comes in. the understanding that what you're thinking in your mind is creating the emotional lack you're feeling, and that you have as much potential to be in that higher energy walking on top the rainbow bridge than you do down here in those old emotions of doubt and self-conflict and inner resistance that you're just more used to. Okay, so moving forward, we have, I always save a space for what would God like to add to this. And God would like for you to feel this new, very confident, really stable energy as part of your natural energy. It's like God would love to say to you, you know what? Much like the wise owl has full reign over its thoughts. Okay, and there's the rainbow. There you are. There's the sword and the rainbow combined. The sword representing your thoughts, okay? And sometimes you're holding onto the sharp end, but hopefully not this time. See, you're at the hilt. So it's showing the rainbow, which is that rainbow bridge. And if you see at the beginning, the reading started with this card here, showing where the thoughts are just all over the place and they're kind of piled up and you're kind of down in them. And there's that rainbow up top. There's that rainbow bridge. There's that higher elevated thinking, the thinking that's coming from love and unity and understanding. And there you are. And there's God saying, hey, you know what? This is where this person needs to be. Confidently, certainly, holding on to more positive thoughts about your situation, about the things that are actually happening for you, because you're accepting responsibility for the fact that you're creating your own reality, and that what you're actually thinking about becomes an emotional state, which then becomes your world. But ultimately, nothing is going wrong. You're just simply learning how to work within that energy. So let's have a look just real quick here at what are you actually afraid of. Interesting enough, this card would represent a deeper wisdom. It's almost like you're afraid of the wisdom that you hold. Maybe you just don't want to trust yourself yet. Maybe you feel like you need to be the one person that proves it more than anybody else, that your perspective is right, that, you know, it feels as though you're fighting your own inner guidance. It's as though you really have a really strong sense of what to do, a really strong sense of what's right for you. And rather than celebrating that and welcoming it as like, oh my God, I'm so happy that I've got this amazing sense of movement forward and being, you're beating yourself up and you're pushing away, you're rejecting those very psychic, intuitive abilities that are right there for you. And it's interesting because the antidote to that is this beautiful butterfly, again showing the further reach of your transformation as you become somebody who you're still working towards becoming. So, but it stands in unison with accepting this sacred, this beautiful, this wise, this knowing self that is right there. And just, and hold on a second. And this card came up the last reading, which is, I find that really interesting because this is basically walking with a Midas touch, feeling really confident, wearing the rainbow bridge now. It's become a part of you. Now you're thinking so positively so much of the time that you're actually believing the very things you're saying to yourself about yourself and about your world. So it's really cool that from the last reading that I did to this one right here, this one card has come forward, and it's kind of highlighting, and saying, the more we let go of this indecision, this feeling that things are not working out for us, this self-resistance and this self-doubt, this fight between your heart and your head, this just avoiding making choices because you don't trust your intuition. Okay, that has to go. That has to go so that you can no longer, so you can feel things in that highest level, because you are moving really beautifully into some very beautiful emotional and like real states. Like you're becoming more compassionate, you're becoming more wise, you're becoming more intuitive, you're really feeling your world more and more. And so it's all leading you in a really beautiful, positive way. And the cup here is one of those images where it feels as though the cup is running over, because that's truly the message here is that it's coming to this beautiful almost like a beginning feeling where you are pouring out of a full cup because you've figured out how to pour into your own cup. And so you are trusting yourself, you're believing yourself. And here again, we have the same card as last time, and right beneath it, the same card as last time. And that I find really, really fun because it's bringing those readings together. It's showing how from moment to moment we're evolving the conscious thought of what is. So this is the same as last time. Keep your thoughts really uplifted. Keep your eyes to the positive things. It means accepting what is, and that's where we tap and release whatever it is that we're facing that we feel is overwhelming, or that we don't want to feel in our actual, like in our body, and then see in our world. So you release that stuff, and then you keep focusing on the things that are working out for you. You keep seeing where things are working out for you, and that is ultimately leading you to this beautiful sense of your wish fulfilled in whatever form that it is that you feel you want your wishes to come true. Because each one of us has our own version of heaven that we want certain things to happen for us. So that is really at the heart of this whole reading, is a very gentle but important reminder to trust your intuition, okay, to trust the knowing that's coming out of you, to know that you know what's best for you, that you always have, and to fully accept responsibility for what you see in your world in every way, the good and the bad and the in between, simply because at some point you have to step into this idea fully that you are creating your own reality, that we are co-creating it together, but in reality you are in charge of you and what you experience. And so it's about making a really deliberate choice out of negative thinking, so out of that feeling of like things are happening to me, to which creates, by the way, always a feeling of more and more feelings of doubt and things not working out, and feeling like you've got too many choices but nowhere to go, or not enough choices, or just this feeling of okay, into a more balanced expression of life. Because you have to eventually make a choice to just let those emotions go, and to pick up instead this beautiful feeling that, okay, I'm just going to keep practicing the art of seeing it in a more positive way, to not sugarcoat it, but to simply start to witness where things are working in your favor for you, for your progression, for your evolution, for everything you're doing as a human being independently and uniquely. So, dear friend, we hope this helps. I say we because, Denny's not that far, and there's always a sense of collective we inside me as I tap into this kind of reading and tune to you, even though I can't help but just think of you specifically as well. So I hope this helps. Thank you for everyone who reached out last time to say hi after the last reading. I'm glad it's helping you. And well, let's just keep moving in a very positive way together, okay? Because I know I'm a little far away, and forgive me for the water, but do drink lots of water and take care of your body. Take care of yourself right now, okay? This is a real experience you're having, but man, oh man, it's a spiritual experience as well. And it doesn't matter which path you're taking into this. You could be as far away from spiritual as you can possibly be, or you could be a very, very person who's living in a very devoted and life, who has a very deep connection to the spiritual realm, or the godly realm. The bottom line is that we're all moving up right now in our ability to actually feel things, to perceive things in a whole new way. And what's happening here is as real for you as all the other experiences you've had from the very time you were very young, to this very moment of now, where you are stepping more and more confidently into this very, very positive energy that is led not by accident, because you didn't accidentally get here just because something nice happened in your life, but you're deliberately, moment by moment, choosing to release the tension, whatever it is that's causing you upset, anger, hurt, okay, to make an active choice to tap and release that. I don't know if you guys are tapping. If you're watching this, hopefully you're tapping as well. And to begin to think in a really more positive way, okay? so that you really do get the fulfillment of all those things you're hoping will happen for you. And in fact, I pray for you, I wish for you that the things that happen for you are so much better than anything you ever imagined for yourself, because I promise you now, whatever it is that you're imagining for yourself as your best case scenario of what your life can be like, I promise you, one day on the other side of all this wonderful life and experience, you're going to look back and you're going to say, holy mackerels, I'm so happy that some of those dreams that I was so sure had to happen didn't happen, because I wouldn't have gotten here in this experience. And in that moment, I want you to remember this moment and just understand how you've always been so divinely guided, how you've always been so tremendously supported, how you have an innate wisdom within you, and you're just simply growing into these skill sets and these new abilities to be this new version of yourself by holding on to that much more positive perspective about everything, especially yourself. So I love you so much, and you're doing amazing. And we'll talk again soon.